Imagine waking up every morning feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. That's exactly how Sarah felt. She was overwhelmed by her job, her relationships, and the constant pressure to keep up with the world around her. One day, she stumbled upon a simple yet profound idea from Stoicism. Happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts. At first, it seemed too simple to be true, but as she began to apply this principle, something shifted. She started to see her challenges not as burdens, but as opportunities to grow. Slowly, her days became lighter, her mind clearer, and her heart more at peace. This is the power of Stoicism, a philosophy that doesn't promise a life free of problems, but instead teaches us how to find happiness within them. Today, we're diving into 25 Stoic quotes on happiness, each one a timeless piece of wisdom that can transform how you see joy and fulfillment. These quotes aren't just words, they're tools to help you navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. Whether you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or simply searching for a deeper sense of contentment, these insights from Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus will guide you toward a more meaningful and joyful life. So, if you're ready to discover how ancient wisdom can bring modern happiness, keep watching. By the end of this video, you'll not only have a new perspective on what it means to be happy, but you'll also have practical tools to start living it. Let's begin this journey together. Now, let's take a closer look at the first quote. Happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts. At its core, this idea reminds us that our happiness isn't determined by what happens to us, but by how we interpret and respond to those events. Think about it, two people can face the same challenge, yet one feels defeated while the other sees it as an opportunity to grow. The difference lies in their mindset. This quote invites us to examine the way we think. Are your thoughts helping you move forward, or are they holding you back? Stoicism teaches us that we have the power to shape our inner world, even when the outer world feels chaotic. By focusing on the quality of our thoughts, we can transform how we experience life. So, how can we put this into practice? Start by paying attention to your mental habits. When a negative thought arises, pause and ask yourself, is this thought serving me? If not, reframe it. For example, instead of thinking, I'll never get this right, try, this is a chance to learn and improve. Another powerful tool is journaling. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This simple practice trains your mind to focus on the positive, gradually shifting your thought patterns toward gratitude and optimism. Remember, cultivating positive thinking isn't about ignoring life's difficulties. It's about choosing to see challenges as opportunities and focusing on what you can control. As you practice this, you'll find that happiness becomes less about external circumstances and more about the quality of your inner world, and that's where true freedom lies. Next, we'll explore how this principle connects to another Stoic idea, the power of reducing our desires to find contentment. Stay with us as we uncover how less can truly mean more when it comes to happiness. Now that we've explored the power of thought quality, let's dive into some practical ways to apply this Stoic principle in your daily life. One of the most effective tools is journaling. By writing down your thoughts, you create space to reflect on them objectively. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day to jot down what's on your mind. Ask yourself, are these thoughts helping me grow, or are they holding me back? Over time, this practice helps you identify patterns and make intentional shifts toward more constructive thinking. Another powerful method is mindfulness. This involves staying present and fully engaged in the moment, rather than getting caught up in worries about the past or future. A simple way to practice mindfulness is through focused breathing. Take a few deep breaths, paying attention to the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the present. This exercise trains your mind to stay grounded, reducing the impact of negative or distracting thoughts. Reframing is another essential skill. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and ask, is there another way to look at this situation? For example, if you're stuck in traffic, instead of feeling frustrated, consider it an opportunity to listen to a podcast or enjoy a moment of quiet. By shifting your perspective, you can turn what feels like a setback into a chance for growth or relaxation. Finally, don't underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. Whether it's journaling, practicing mindfulness, or reframing your thoughts, the key is to make these habits a regular part of your routine. Over time, these practices will help you cultivate a mindset that not only supports happiness but also builds resilience in the face of life's challenges. As we move forward, we'll explore how these ideas connect to the Stoic concept of reducing desires to find contentment. Stay tuned as we uncover how simplicity can lead to greater happiness. Now that we've looked at how refining our thoughts can shape our happiness, let's shift our focus to another profound Stoic idea, the relationship between wealth and contentment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions but in having few wants." At first glance, this might seem counterintuitive in a world that often equates wealth with material abundance. But Stoicism challenges us to rethink what true wealth really means. The Stoics believed that happiness isn't found in accumulating more but in wanting less. When we reduce our desires, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of chasing after things that, in the end, don't bring lasting fulfillment. Think about it. How often do we buy something new, only to feel a fleeting sense of satisfaction before moving on to the next thing? This constant pursuit can leave us feeling empty, always searching for the next fix. This idea aligns closely with modern minimalism, a lifestyle movement that emphasizes living with less. Minimalists often find that by decluttering their lives, whether it's their physical space, their schedules, or even their relationships, they create more room for what truly matters. For example, instead of filling their homes with unnecessary items, they focus on keeping only what adds value to their lives. This intentional approach not only reduces stress, but also fosters a deeper sense of gratitude for what they already have. So, how can we apply this Stoic principle in our own lives? Start by examining your wants versus your needs. Ask yourself, do I truly need this, or am I seeking it out of habit or societal pressure? By becoming more mindful of our desires, we can begin to distinguish between what's essential and what's merely excess. Another practical step is to practice gratitude regularly. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you already possess, whether it's your health, your relationships, or even the simple pleasures of life. When we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, we naturally cultivate a sense of contentment. As we continue, we'll explore how this mindset connects to the broader Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control. But for now, consider this: true wealth isn't about having more, it's about needing less. And in that simplicity, we often find the greatest happiness. Now, let's take a closer look at how modern minimalism mirrors the Stoic philosophy of finding contentment through simplicity. Minimalism isn't just about owning fewer things, it's about creating space for what truly matters. This idea resonates deeply with the Stoic belief that happiness comes from within, not from external possessions. By intentionally choosing to live with less, we can focus on the things that bring genuine joy and meaning to our lives. One way minimalism aligns with Stoicism is through the practice of intentional living. Both philosophies encourage us to question our desires and prioritize what aligns with our values. For instance, instead of filling our homes with items we rarely use, minimalists focus on keeping only what serves a purpose or sparks joy. This deliberate approach helps us break free from the cycle of consumerism and fosters a sense of inner peace. Another key similarity is the emphasis on gratitude. Minimalism teaches us to appreciate what we already have rather than constantly seeking more. This mirrors the Stoic practice of reflecting on our blessings and recognizing that true wealth lies in our ability to be content with what we possess. When we stop chasing after the next big thing, we create room for gratitude to flourish. So, how can we start simplifying our lives in a way that aligns with these principles? Begin by decluttering your physical space. Take a moment to assess your belongings and ask yourself, does this item add value to my life? If not, consider letting it go. This process isn't just about creating a cleaner environment. It's about making room for clarity and focus. Next, extend this mindset to other areas of your life. Simplify your schedule by saying no to commitments that don't align with your priorities. Focus on activities that bring you joy or help you grow. And don't forget to nurture your relationships. Minimalism isn't just about material possessions. It's also about cultivating meaningful connections with others. As we move forward, we'll explore how these practices tie into the broader Stoic concept of focusing on what we can control. But for now, remember this: minimalism and Stoicism both remind us that happiness isn't found in having more, it's found in needing less. And when we embrace this mindset, we open the door to a more fulfilling and intentional life. Now, let's shift our focus to another powerful Stoic idea. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This quote, often attributed to Marcus Aurelius, reminds us that our inner world shapes our outer reality. It's not the events themselves that determine our happiness, but how we interpret and respond to them. This principle is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, emphasizing that mastering our thoughts is the key to a fulfilling life. To put this into practice, Stoics developed exercises designed to train the mind and improve the quality of our thoughts. One such exercise is negative visualization, a technique that might sound counterintuitive at first but has profound benefits. Negative visualization involves imagining the worst-case scenarios in your life: losing a job, facing a health crisis, or even the loss of a loved one. While this might seem unsettling, the purpose isn't to dwell on fear or sadness. Instead, it's about preparing ourselves mentally for life's uncertainties and cultivating a deeper appreciation for what we have. For example, take a moment to imagine losing something you value deeply: a relationship, a possession, or even your health. How would you feel? What would you miss most? By confronting these thoughts, we often realize how much we take for granted in our daily lives. This exercise helps us build resilience as it trains us to face challenges with a calm and rational mindset. It also fosters gratitude as we become more aware of the blessings we already possess. Negative visualization isn't about pessimism, it's about perspective. By mentally rehearsing difficult situations, we reduce their emotional impact when they actually occur. This prepares us to respond with clarity and strength, rather than being overwhelmed by fear or anxiety. It's a reminder that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we think about and respond to those events. As we continue exploring Stoic practices, we'll see how this exercise ties into the broader theme of focusing on what we can control. But for now, consider this: the quality of your thoughts truly shapes the quality of your life. By practicing techniques like negative visualization, you can cultivate a mindset that not only prepares you for challenges but also deepens your appreciation for the present moment. Next, we'll dive deeper into how this principle connects to another Stoic exercise, the dichotomy of control. But before we move on, take a moment to reflect on how your thoughts influence your happiness. Are they serving you or holding you back? The power to change lies within you. Now, let's take a closer look at how negative visualization can transform the way we approach life. This Stoic exercise isn't just about preparing for the worst, it's also a powerful tool for cultivating gratitude and resilience. When we intentionally imagine losing the things we value, whether it's our health, relationships, or possessions, we're forced to confront how much those things truly mean to us. This process, though uncomfortable at first, helps us break free from taking our blessings for granted. Think about it. How often do we pause to appreciate the people in our lives or the opportunities we have? It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of daily life and overlook the good things we already possess. Negative visualization acts as a wake-up call, reminding us to cherish what we have while we still have it. For instance, imagine waking up one day to find that a loved one is no longer there. How would that change your perspective on the time you spend with them? By reflecting on this, we're more likely to show appreciation and nurture those relationships while we can. But the benefits don't stop there. This practice also strengthens our resilience by helping us face life's uncertainties with a calmer mindset. When we've already imagined the worst-case scenarios, we're less likely to be caught off guard when challenges arise. Instead of reacting with panic or despair, we can respond with clarity and composure. This doesn't mean we'll never feel pain or sadness. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions. Rather, it's about building the mental fortitude to navigate difficulties without being overwhelmed by them. Consider how athletes or performers use visualization to prepare for high-pressure situations. They mentally rehearse every possible outcome, including failure, so they're ready for anything. Negative visualization works in a similar way, equipping us to handle life's curveballs with grace. It's like having an emotional safety net. We've already walked through the worst in our minds, so when it happens in reality, we're better prepared to handle it. Ultimately, negative visualization is a practice of perspective. It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, fostering a sense of contentment and gratitude. At the same time, it builds our capacity to face adversity with strength and resilience. By embracing this exercise, we're not just preparing for the challenges of life, we're learning to live more fully in the present moment, appreciating the richness of our lives as they are. As we move forward, we'll explore how this mindset connects to another core Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control. But for now, take a moment to reflect on how negative visualization could reshape your perspective. What would it feel like to approach life with a deeper sense of gratitude and readiness? The power to transform your mindset is already within you. Now, let's turn our attention to a quote that cuts straight to the heart of Stoic wisdom. No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have. At first glance, this might sound like a simple reminder to curb our desires, but it's actually a profound lesson in freedom. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from understanding what is within our control and what isn't, and then aligning our desires accordingly. Think about it. How much of our stress and frustration comes from wanting things we can't have or trying to control outcomes that are beyond our reach? Whether it's a promotion at work, the approval of others, or even the weather, we often waste energy chasing things that are ultimately outside our influence. This quote invites us to shift our focus inward, to the one thing we always have control over: our own thoughts and choices. For example, imagine you're stuck in traffic. You can't control the cars around you or the delay, but you can control how you respond. Do you let frustration take over? Or do you use the time to listen to a podcast, reflect on your day, or simply breathe and relax? This is the essence of Stoic practice, recognizing that while we can't always change our circumstances, we can always change how we relate to them. This principle is especially powerful when applied to relationships. We can't control how others behave or feel, but we can control how we treat them and how we interpret their actions. By letting go of the need to control external outcomes, we free ourselves from unnecessary disappointment and conflict. Instead of trying to change others, we focus on being the best version of ourselves: kind, patient, and understanding. The beauty of this Stoic idea is that it doesn't ask us to give up on our goals or stop striving for improvement. Rather, it encourages us to direct our energy toward what truly matters: our own character and actions. When we stop wanting what we don't have, we create space for contentment and peace. We learn to appreciate what's already here rather than constantly chasing what's out of reach. As we continue, we'll explore how this mindset connects to the Stoic practice of gratitude and how it can transform the way we experience life. But for now, take a moment to reflect. What would it feel like to let go of the things you can't control and focus instead on what you can? The power to find happiness, as the Stoics teach us, lies not in having everything we want, but in wanting what we already have. Now, let's take a closer look at how the Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control can be applied in everyday life to reduce stress and cultivate happiness. This idea, which we've touched on earlier, is all about distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't. By focusing our energy on the former and letting go of the latter, we can experience a profound sense of peace and clarity. Consider the workplace, for instance. You might not have control over your boss's decisions, the company's policies, or the behavior of your colleagues. But you do have control over how you approach your tasks, how you communicate, and how you manage your time. When you shift your focus to these areas, you'll find that much of the stress you feel begins to dissolve. Instead of worrying about things you can't change, you'll feel empowered by the actions you can take to improve your situation. Another powerful example is health. While we can't control every aspect of our physical well-being, genetics, for instance, or unexpected illnesses, we can control our daily habits. Eating nutritious food, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep are all within our power. By prioritizing these actions, we not only improve our health but also reduce the anxiety that comes from feeling helpless. Relationships are another area where the dichotomy of control can make a significant difference. You can't control how others think, feel, or act, but you can control how you respond. If someone says something hurtful, for example, you can choose to react with anger or to respond with understanding and patience. This shift in focus allows you to maintain your inner peace even in challenging situations. Even in broader societal or global issues, this principle holds true. While we can't single-handedly solve climate change or end poverty, we can control how we contribute to positive change, whether through small daily actions, supporting causes we believe in, or educating ourselves and others. This sense of agency can transform feelings of helplessness into a source of motivation and purpose. The beauty of the dichotomy of control is that it doesn't just reduce stress, it also opens the door to greater happiness. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we free up mental and emotional energy to focus on what truly matters. We become more present, more resilient, and more appreciative of the good things in our lives. As we move forward, we'll explore how this principle ties into the Stoic practice of gratitude and how it can help us find joy in the present moment. But for now, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life can you apply the dichotomy of control? What changes could you make to focus on what's within your power and let go of what isn't? The answer might just be the key to unlocking a happier, more peaceful you. Now, let's turn our attention to a timeless Stoic truth. He who is not contented with what he has would not be contented with what he would like to have. This quote cuts to the heart of a common human struggle, the endless pursuit of more. It reminds us that true happiness isn't found in acquiring new things or achieving new goals, but in learning to appreciate what we already have. At its core, this idea is about gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting feeling, it's a mindset, a way of seeing the world. When we practice gratitude, we shift our focus from what's missing in our lives to what's already present. This simple shift can have a profound impact on our sense of happiness and fulfillment. Think about it. How often do we chase after something, a promotion, a new car, a bigger house, only to find that once we have it, the satisfaction fades quickly? The Stoics understood that this cycle of desire and dissatisfaction is endless. No matter how much we achieve or acquire, there will always be something else we want. The key to breaking this cycle is to cultivate contentment with what we have right now. One practical way to do this is through daily gratitude practices. For example, you might take a few minutes each evening to reflect on 3 things you're thankful for. These don't have to be grand or extraordinary. They could be as simple as a kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset, or a moment of peace during a busy day. Over time, this practice trains your mind to notice and appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small. Another powerful Stoic exercise is to imagine losing the things you currently have. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's a way of reminding yourself how much you value them. For instance, if you're grateful for your health, take a moment to imagine what life would be like without it. This exercise isn't meant to make you anxious. It's meant to deepen your appreciation for what you already possess. Gratitude also helps us stay grounded in the present moment. So often, we're so focused on the future, what we want to achieve, what we hope to have, that we forget to enjoy the here and now, but the present moment is all we truly have. By practicing gratitude, we learn to savor it, to find joy in the simple, everyday experiences that make life meaningful. As we continue exploring these Stoic principles, we'll see how gratitude ties into other practices, like focusing on what we can control and cultivating virtuous thoughts. But for now, take a moment to reflect. What are you grateful for today? How can you bring more appreciation into your daily life? The answers to these questions might just be the first step toward a deeper, more lasting happiness. Now, let's take a closer look at how we can put gratitude into action with some practical Stoic-inspired exercises. One of the simplest yet most powerful practices is the daily reflection on 3 things you're thankful for. This exercise doesn't require much time or effort, but its impact can be profound. By focusing on the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small, you train your mind to notice and appreciate the good that's already present. For example, you might start by acknowledging something as simple as a warm cup of coffee in the morning, a kind gesture from a coworker, or even the comfort of your bed at the end of a long day. Over time, this practice helps you build a habit of gratitude, making it easier to find joy in the ordinary moments that often go unnoticed. Another Stoic-inspired exercise is to write a gratitude letter. Think of someone who has made a positive impact on your life, a friend, family member, or mentor, and take the time to express your appreciation in writing. You don't even have to send the letter. The act of putting your gratitude into words can be deeply fulfilling. It helps you reflect on the relationships and experiences that bring meaning to your life, reinforcing the idea that happiness often comes from connection and appreciation. You can also try the Stoic practice of negative visualization, which we touched on earlier. This involves imagining what life would be like without the things you currently have. For instance, if you're grateful for your job, take a moment to picture what it would feel like to lose it. This exercise isn't meant to create fear or anxiety. Rather, it's a way to deepen your appreciation for what you already possess. By temporarily removing something from your life in your mind, you gain a clearer perspective on its value. Finally, consider incorporating gratitude into your daily conversations. Make it a habit to express thanks to the people around you, whether it's a barista who makes your coffee just right or a colleague who helps you with a project. Not only does this strengthen your relationships, but it also reinforces your own sense of gratitude. These practices, rooted in Stoic philosophy, remind us that happiness isn't about chasing after what we don't have, it's about appreciating what we do. By making gratitude a regular part of your life, you can break free from the cycle of endless desire and find contentment in the present moment. As we move forward, we'll explore how these gratitude practices connect to other Stoic principles, like focusing on what we can control and cultivating inner strength. But for now, take a moment to reflect. What are 3 things you're grateful for today? How can you bring more appreciation into your daily routine? The answers to these questions might just be the key to unlocking a deeper sense of happiness. Now, let's shift our focus to a powerful Stoic idea that can transform how we handle challenges. The quote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Reminds us that our emotions are not caused by events themselves, but by how we interpret them. This is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Our perceptions shape our reality. Think about it this way: two people can experience the same situation, yet feel completely different emotions about it. For example, imagine being stuck in traffic. One person might feel frustrated and stressed, while another might see it as an opportunity to listen to a favorite podcast or enjoy a moment of quiet. The traffic itself isn't causing the distress, it's the way each person views the situation. This insight gives us incredible power. If our emotions are tied to our interpretations, then we can change how we feel by changing how we think. This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing negative emotions. Instead, it's about examining our thoughts and asking ourselves, is this interpretation helpful? Is it true? Often, we'll find that our initial reactions are based on assumptions or fears that don't hold up under scrutiny. One practical way to apply this is through a technique called cognitive reframing. When something upsetting happens, pause and ask yourself, what's another way to look at this? For instance, if you receive critical feedback at work, your first reaction might be to feel hurt or defensive. But if you reframe it as an opportunity to grow and improve, the same feedback can become a source of motivation rather than distress. Another Stoic tool is to remind yourself of what's within your control. External events like traffic, criticism, or even the weather are often beyond our influence, but our thoughts, attitudes, and responses are entirely up to us. By focusing on what we can control, we reduce the power that external events have over our emotions. This principle also ties back to gratitude. When we reframe challenges as opportunities for growth or learning, we shift our perspective from one of lack to one of abundance. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, we can appreciate the lessons and strengths we're gaining along the way. As we continue exploring Stoic wisdom, we'll see how this idea connects to other principles, like building resilience and finding contentment. But for now, take a moment to reflect. What's one situation in your life where you've allowed your interpretation to shape your emotions? How might reframing it help you find peace? The power to change your experience lies in your hands, or rather in your mind. Now, let's take a closer look at how we can actively reframe challenges to find growth and peace. One of the most effective strategies is to shift our focus from what's going wrong to what we can learn from the situation. Instead of seeing a setback as a failure, try viewing it as a stepping stone. For example, if you didn't get the promotion you were hoping for, instead of dwelling on disappointment, ask yourself, what skills can I develop to improve my chances next time? This mindset turns a moment of frustration into an opportunity for self-improvement. Another powerful approach is to practice what Stoics call premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This doesn't mean dwelling on negativity, but rather preparing yourself mentally for potential challenges. By imagining the worst-case scenario and planning how you'd handle it, you reduce the fear and anxiety that often accompany uncertainty. For instance, if you're nervous about a big presentation, visualize yourself handling tough questions with calm and confidence. This exercise not only prepares you for the challenge, but also helps you see it as manageable rather than overwhelming. It's also helpful to remind yourself of the bigger picture. When faced with a difficult situation, ask, will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? Often, we realize that what feels like a crisis in the moment is just a small bump in the grand scheme of things. This perspective can help you stay grounded and avoid overreacting. Finally, consider seeking out the silver lining in every challenge. Even in the toughest moments, there's usually something to be grateful for or a lesson to be learned. Maybe a project didn't go as planned, but it taught you valuable teamwork skills. Or perhaps a personal setback revealed strength you didn't know you had. By actively looking for these positives, you train your mind to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. As we move forward, we'll explore how these strategies connect to other Stoic principles, like building resilience and finding contentment. But for now, take a moment to reflect. What's one challenge in your life that feels overwhelming? How might reframing it help you see it in a new light? Remember, the way you interpret your experiences shapes your reality, and with a little practice, you can turn even the toughest situations into sources of strength and growth. Now, let's turn our attention to a profound Stoic insight. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. This quote reminds us that our thoughts are not just fleeting moments in our minds, they shape who we are and how we experience life. Think of your mind as a canvas and every thought as a brushstroke. Over time, those strokes create the picture of your character, your emotions, and ultimately your happiness. If your thoughts are filled with negativity, fear, or resentment, your soul, your inner self will reflect those colors. But if you cultivate positive, virtuous thoughts, your soul will shine with clarity and peace. So, what does it mean to cultivate virtuous thoughts? Virtue, in Stoicism, is about living in alignment with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. It's not just about thinking good things, but about training your mind to focus on what truly matters. For example, instead of dwelling on jealousy when someone succeeds, you might choose to feel inspired by their achievements. Instead of reacting with anger in a frustrating situation, you could pause and ask yourself, how can I respond with patience and understanding? These small shifts in thinking can have a profound impact on your character and your sense of fulfillment. One practical way to cultivate virtuous thoughts is through daily reflection. Take a few moments each evening to review your day. Ask yourself, did my thoughts align with the virtues I value? Did I act with integrity even when it was difficult? This practice helps you become more aware of your mental habits and gives you the opportunity to make adjustments. Over time, you'll notice that your thoughts naturally gravitate toward what's good and meaningful. Another powerful tool is to surround yourself with influences that encourage virtuous thinking. This could mean reading books that inspire you, spending time with people who uplift you, or even engaging in activities that bring out your best self. Remember, your environment plays a significant role in shaping your thoughts, so choose wisely. As we continue, we'll explore how these ideas connect to other Stoic principles, like building resilience and finding contentment. But for now, take a moment to reflect. What colors are you painting on the canvas of your soul? Are your thoughts helping you grow into the person you aspire to be? By consciously choosing virtuous thoughts, you can create a life filled with purpose, joy, and inner harmony. Now, let's take a closer look at how practicing virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice can transform your life. These virtues aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools that help you navigate challenges, build meaningful relationships, and find deeper fulfillment. Wisdom, for instance, is about seeing the world clearly and making decisions that align with your values. It's the ability to step back from impulsive reactions and choose a thoughtful, intentional path forward. When you act with wisdom, you're not just solving problems, you're growing into the best version of yourself. Courage, another key virtue, isn't just about facing physical danger. It's about standing up for what's right, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. It's the strength to admit when you're wrong, to take risks in pursuit of your goals, and to keep going when life feels overwhelming. Courage helps you push through fear and uncertainty, allowing you to live with integrity and purpose. Justice, in the Stoic sense, goes beyond laws and rules. It's about treating others with fairness, kindness, and respect. It's recognizing that everyone has inherent worth and acting in ways that contribute to the greater good. When you practice justice, you create a ripple effect of positivity, not just in your own life, but in the lives of those around you. Together, these virtues form the foundation of a fulfilling life. They guide your actions, shape your character, and help you find meaning even in difficult circumstances. But how do you put them into practice? Start by setting small, intentional goals. For example, you might focus on being more patient in conversations or standing up for someone who's being treated unfairly. Over time, these small acts of virtue add up, creating a life that's not only happier but also more aligned with your deepest values. As we move forward, we'll explore how these virtues connect to other Stoic principles like resilience and gratitude. But for now, take a moment to reflect which virtue resonates most with you right now. How can you bring more wisdom, courage, or justice into your daily life? By cultivating these qualities, you're not just improving yourself, you're contributing to a better world. Now, let's shift our focus to a powerful Stoic insight that can help us tackle one of the most common obstacles to happiness, our own anxieties. The quote, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems," reminds us that much of what we fear isn't rooted in reality. It's created by our mind. Think about it. How often do we spend hours worrying about things that never actually happen? We imagine worst-case scenarios, replay conversations in our heads, or stress over outcomes we can't control. These imagined anxieties often feel just as real as actual problems, but they're not. They're stories we tell ourselves, and they can drain our energy and peace of mind if we let them. The Stoics understood that our minds have a tendency to exaggerate threats and create unnecessary stress. For example, you might worry about an upcoming presentation, imagining that you'll stumble over your words or that your audience will judge you harshly. But in reality, the presentation might go smoothly, and even if it doesn't, the consequences are rarely as catastrophic as we imagine. The key is to recognize when our fears are based on imagination rather than facts. By doing so, we can take a step back, assess the situation more clearly, and respond with calm and reason instead of panic. This doesn't mean ignoring real problems or pretending everything is fine. It means distinguishing between what's actually happening and what we're afraid might happen. When we focus on the present moment and deal with what's in front of us, we often find that our anxieties lose their power. The Stoics called this practice premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils, where we imagine the worst-case scenario not to dwell on it, but to prepare ourselves mentally and realize that even the worst outcomes are manageable. This exercise helps us build resilience and reduces the grip that fear and anxiety have on our lives. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by worry, ask yourself, is this a real problem or is it something I'm imagining? By bringing awareness to your thoughts, you can break the cycle of anxiety and approach challenges with a clearer, more grounded perspective. This is how Stoicism teaches us to reclaim our peace of mind and focus on what truly matters. As we move forward, we'll explore practical techniques for managing these anxieties and building the mental strength to face life's uncertainties with confidence. Now, let's dive deeper into how we can apply Stoic principles to overcome anxiety and regain control of our thoughts. One of the most effective techniques Stoicism offers is focusing on the present moment. When we're anxious, our minds often race ahead, imagining all the things that could go wrong in the future. But the truth is, the present moment is all we truly have. By grounding ourselves in the here and now, we can break free from the cycle of worry and find a sense of calm. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed, take a moment to notice your surroundings, the sounds, the sensations, the rhythm of your breath. This simple act of mindfulness can help you step away from the noise in your mind and reconnect with reality. Another powerful Stoic tool is questioning irrational fears. When anxiety strikes, it's easy to accept our worries as facts without examining them. But the Stoics encourage us to challenge these thoughts. Ask yourself, is this fear based on evidence or is it just a story I'm telling myself? What's the worst that could happen and how likely is it? Often, you'll find that your fears are exaggerated or even unfounded. By shining a light on them, you can strip away their power and see the situation more clearly. For instance, if you're worried about a difficult conversation, remind yourself that you've handled tough situations before and that you're capable of doing so again. This kind of rational self-talk can help you approach challenges with confidence rather than dread. Stoicism also teaches us to embrace discomfort as a natural part of life. Instead of trying to avoid or suppress anxiety, we can learn to sit with it and understand it. This doesn't mean resigning ourselves to suffering. It means recognizing that anxiety is a temporary state, not a permanent one. By accepting it without resistance, we can reduce its intensity and prevent it from spiraling out of control. Think of it like a wave. If you fight against it, you'll only tire yourself out. But if you ride it, you'll eventually reach calmer waters. As we continue, we'll explore how these techniques can be combined with other Stoic practices to build lasting resilience and inner peace. By learning to manage our anxieties, we not only improve our own well-being but also create space for greater happiness and fulfillment in our lives. Now, let's turn our attention to a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy: the idea that happiness and freedom stem from understanding what we can and cannot control. This principle, often referred to as the dichotomy of control, is a powerful tool for navigating life's challenges. At its core, it reminds us that while we can't control external events, we always have control over how we respond to them. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. Instead of wasting energy on things beyond our influence, we can focus our efforts on what truly matters: our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Consider this: when something goes wrong, it's natural to feel frustrated or upset. But the Stoics would ask us to pause and reflect: is this situation within my control? If not, why am I allowing it to dictate my emotions? By asking these questions, we can redirect our energy toward what we can change. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, getting angry won't make the cars move faster. But you can choose to use that time to listen to an audiobook, reflect on your day, or simply practice patience. This small shift in focus can transform a stressful moment into an opportunity for growth. The dichotomy of control also helps us let go of unnecessary burdens. Many of the things we worry about, other people's opinions, the weather, or global events, are entirely outside our control. When we accept this, we free ourselves from the weight of trying to manage the unmanageable. Instead, we can channel our energy into areas where we can make a real difference, like improving our relationships, pursuing meaningful goals, or cultivating inner peace. This doesn't mean we become indifferent to the world around us. It means we approach life with a sense of clarity and purpose. As we move forward, we'll explore how applying this principle can lead to greater happiness and resilience. By focusing on what's within our control, we not only reduce stress but also create a foundation for lasting fulfillment. This Stoic wisdom reminds us that true freedom comes from mastering our own minds and embracing the power we already possess. Now, let's take a closer look at how this principle plays out in everyday life. Imagine you're preparing for an important presentation at work. You've spent weeks researching, practicing, and perfecting your slides. But on the day of the presentation, the projector malfunctions and the audience seems distracted. In this moment, the Stoic approach would be to focus on what you can control: your delivery, your tone, and your ability to adapt. You can't fix the projector or force the audience to pay attention, but you can choose to remain calm, engage with those who are listening, and deliver your message with confidence. By shifting your focus to what's within your power, you not only handle the situation better but also maintain your peace of mind. Another example might be in personal relationships. Let's say a friend cancels plans at the last minute. It's easy to feel disappointed or even upset, but the Stoic perspective encourages us to ask: is this within my control? The answer is no. You can't force someone to show up. What you can control, however, is how you respond. You might choose to use the extra time to relax, catch up on a hobby, or reach out to someone else. By focusing on your own actions and mindset, you turn a potentially frustrating situation into an opportunity for self-care or connection. Even in larger, more complex scenarios, the dichotomy of control can be a guiding light. Take something like job loss. Losing a job is undeniably challenging, and it's natural to feel anxious or uncertain. But while you can't control the decision made by your employer, you can control how you move forward. You might update your resume, network with others in your field, or explore new career paths. By directing your energy toward actionable steps, you regain a sense of agency and purpose, which can significantly reduce stress and open doors to new possibilities. These examples show that applying the dichotomy of control isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It's about recognizing where your power lies and using it to create positive outcomes. When we focus on what we can control, we not only find greater peace and joy, but also build resilience and confidence to face whatever life throws our way. This Stoic principle is a reminder that, even in the face of uncertainty, we always have the ability to shape our own experience. Now, let's turn our attention to another powerful Stoic insight. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This quote reminds us that the people we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our happiness and personal growth. Think about it. When you're around individuals who inspire, encourage, and challenge you in positive ways, you're more likely to feel motivated, confident, and fulfilled. On the other hand, spending time with those who drain your energy or bring negativity into your life can leave you feeling stuck or discouraged. The Stoics understood that our relationships are not just a reflection of who we are, but also a shaping force in our lives. They believed that by carefully choosing our companions, we can create an environment that nurtures our best qualities and helps us thrive. For example, imagine you're trying to adopt healthier habits like exercising regularly or eating better. If your friends are supportive and share similar goals, they'll likely encourage you, celebrate your progress, and keep you accountable. But if those around you dismiss your efforts or tempt you to abandon your goals, staying on track becomes much harder. This principle extends beyond personal habits to our overall mindset and emotional well-being. When we surround ourselves with people who uplift us, we're more likely to adopt their positive outlook and resilience. Their optimism can inspire us to see challenges as opportunities, and their encouragement can help us push through difficult times. Conversely, being around those who constantly complain or focus on the negative can make it harder to maintain a balanced and hopeful perspective. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom in our own lives? Start by reflecting on your current relationships. Ask yourself, do the people I spend the most time with bring out the best in me? Do they support my goals and values, or do they pull me away from them? This doesn't mean you need to cut ties with everyone who isn't perfectly aligned with your journey, but it does mean being intentional about who you invest your time and energy in. Seek out those who inspire you, challenge you to grow, and make you feel valued. And don't forget, being a positive influence in someone else's life is just as important. By uplifting others, you create a cycle of mutual support and happiness. Ultimately, this quote is a reminder that happiness isn't just about what we do or think. It's also about who we choose to share our lives with. By surrounding ourselves with people who uplift us, we create a foundation for joy, growth, and fulfillment that can carry us through life's ups and downs. And as we'll see next, this idea ties closely to another Stoic principle, the power of inner strength and how it shapes our ability to find happiness, no matter the circumstances. Building a supportive circle begins with self-awareness. Take a moment to reflect on the qualities you value most in others, traits like honesty, kindness, resilience, and a positive outlook. These are the kinds of characteristics that align with Stoic principles and can help foster meaningful, uplifting connections. Once you've identified what matters to you, start observing the people in your life. Do they embody these traits? Do they encourage you to grow, or do they pull you away from your values? This isn't about judging others, but rather about understanding how your relationships influence your well-being. Next, be intentional about nurturing the relationships that bring out the best in you. This might mean spending more time with those who inspire you or deepening your connection with someone who shares your commitment to personal growth. It could also mean setting boundaries with individuals who consistently drain your energy or undermine your goals. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and one of the most powerful things we can control is how we invest our time and energy in relationships. Another key step is to actively seek out like-minded individuals. Join communities, groups, or activities that align with your interests and values. Whether it's a book club, a fitness class, or a volunteer organization, these spaces can help you connect with people who share your commitment to growth and positivity. The Stoics believed that surrounding ourselves with virtuous individuals helps us cultivate virtue within ourselves, so don't underestimate the power of finding your tribe. At the same time, remember that building a supportive circle isn't just about what others can offer you, it's also about what you bring to the table. Strive to be the kind of person who uplifts and inspires those around you. Practice active listening, offer encouragement, and celebrate the successes of others. By embodying Stoic values in your own actions, you'll naturally attract people who resonate with those same principles. Finally, don't be afraid to let go of relationships that no longer serve your growth. This can be one of the hardest but most liberating steps. Stoicism teaches us to accept what we cannot change, and sometimes that means accepting that certain relationships may not align with our journey. Letting go doesn't have to be dramatic or confrontational. It can simply mean creating space for healthier, more fulfilling connections. As we move forward, we'll explore how cultivating inner strength plays a crucial role in our ability to find happiness, even in the face of life's challenges. By building a supportive circle and nurturing relationships that align with Stoic values, we create a foundation of strength and resilience that helps us navigate whatever comes our way. Now let's turn our attention to one of the most empowering Stoic quotes. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This statement captures the essence of Stoic philosophy, reminding us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. This shift in focus from external circumstances to internal resilience is where true strength and happiness are found. Think about it: how often do we feel overwhelmed by situations outside our control? A difficult boss, a sudden change in plans, or even the weather can throw us off balance. But the Stoics teach us that these external events don't have to dictate our emotions or actions. Instead, we have the power to choose our mindset. By recognizing that our thoughts and reactions are within our control, we can transform challenges into opportunities for growth. For example, imagine you're stuck in traffic. You can't control the cars around you or the delay, but you can control how you respond. Instead of letting frustration take over, you might use the time to listen to a podcast, reflect on your day, or simply practice mindfulness. This small shift in perspective can turn a stressful situation into a moment of calm and even productivity. It's a practical way to apply the Stoic principle of focusing on what's within your power. This idea also ties back to the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control, which we've touched on earlier. By distinguishing between what we can and cannot control, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety. When we stop trying to change things beyond our influence and instead focus on mastering our own thoughts and actions, we build a sense of inner strength that no external event can shake. Developing this kind of mental resilience takes practice. One effective Stoic exercise is to regularly remind yourself of what's within your control. At the start or end of each day, take a moment to reflect on the things you can influence: your attitude, your effort, your choices, and let go of the rest. Over time, this practice helps you cultivate a mindset of calm and confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. Another way to strengthen your inner power is through self-reflection. Ask yourself questions like, how am I reacting to this situation? Is my response helping or hindering me? What can I learn from this experience? These questions encourage you to take ownership of your thoughts and actions, reinforcing the idea that you are the architect of your own happiness. Ultimately, the Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within. By mastering your mind and focusing on what you can control, you unlock a source of strength that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. This inner power not only leads to greater happiness but also empowers you to live a life aligned with your values and purpose. As we continue, we'll explore how this inner strength can help us embrace life's challenges, turning obstacles into stepping stones for growth and fulfillment. Now, let's take a closer look at how we can actively develop the inner strength the Stoics speak of. One of the most powerful tools for building mental resilience is meditation. This practice isn't just about sitting quietly, it's about training your mind to stay present and focused even when life feels chaotic. By setting aside just a few minutes each day to meditate, you create a space to observe your thoughts without judgment. This helps you recognize when your mind is spiraling into negativity or worry, giving you the chance to redirect your focus toward what truly matters. Over time, this simple habit can help you respond to challenges with clarity and calm rather than reacting impulsively. Another effective exercise is self-reflection. The Stoics were big believers in examining their thoughts and actions regularly. At the end of each day, take a few moments to ask yourself questions like, what went well today? What could I have handled differently? What did I learn? This practice isn't about criticizing yourself, it's about gaining insight into your patterns and behaviors. By understanding how you react to different situations, you can start to make intentional changes that align with your values and goals. It's a way of taking ownership of your inner world, which is the foundation of true strength. Journaling is another practical way to build resilience. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you process difficult emotions and gain perspective on challenges. Try keeping a Stoic journal where you reflect on quotes or principles that resonate with you. For example, you might write about how you applied the dichotomy of control in a tough situation or how you practiced gratitude during a stressful day. This not only reinforces Stoic teachings but also helps you track your progress over time, showing you just how far you've come in mastering your mind. Physical exercise can also play a role in developing inner strength. The Stoics believed in cultivating a strong mind and body, recognizing that the two are deeply connected. Activities like yoga, running, or even a simple walk in nature can help you release tension and clear your mind. When you take care of your body, you're better equipped to handle mental and emotional challenges. It's a reminder that resilience isn't just about thinking differently, it's about living in a way that supports your overall well-being. Finally, don't underestimate the power of community. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you can reinforce your commitment to building inner strength. Share your Stoic journey with friends or join a group where you can discuss ideas and challenges. Having a support system can make it easier to stay consistent with your practices and remind you that you're not alone in your pursuit of resilience. By incorporating these exercises into your daily life, you'll gradually strengthen your ability to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and confidence. Inner strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you cultivate through consistent effort and reflection. And as you grow in this area, you'll find that happiness becomes less about external circumstances and more about the peace and power you carry within. Next, we'll explore how this inner strength can help us embrace life's challenges, turning obstacles into stepping stones for growth and fulfillment. Now, let's shift our focus to a powerful Stoic idea that reframes how we see life's struggles. The quote, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing," offers a striking metaphor for the Stoic perspective on challenges. At first glance, it might seem discouraging. After all, wrestling implies effort, struggle, and even discomfort. But when we look closer, this quote reveals a profound truth. Life's difficulties are not obstacles to avoid, but opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. The Stoics believed that challenges are an essential part of the human experience. Just as a wrestler trains and competes to build strength and skill, we too are shaped by the trials we face. Think about it, when everything is easy, we rarely grow. It's in the moments of struggle, when we're pushed to our limits, that we discover what we're truly capable of. This doesn't mean life is meant to be a constant battle, but rather that the challenges we encounter are invitations to develop resilience, patience, and courage. Consider the example of a difficult work project or a strained relationship. These situations can feel overwhelming, but they also provide a chance to practice Stoic principles like perseverance and emotional control. By approaching these challenges with a mindset of growth, we can transform them into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. The Stoics remind us that it's not the challenge itself that defines us, but how we respond to it. This perspective also helps us find meaning in adversity. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can this make me stronger?" This shift in thinking turns even the toughest moments into opportunities for self-improvement and deeper understanding. It's a reminder that happiness isn't about avoiding hardship, but about embracing it as a natural part of life's journey. So, the next time you face a challenge, try to see it as a wrestler would, an opportunity to test your strength, refine your skills, and come out stronger on the other side. Life may not always feel like a graceful dance, but with a Stoic mindset, you can navigate its twists and turns with purpose and resilience. As we move forward, we'll explore how this mindset can help us not only endure but thrive in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Now, let's take a closer look at how embracing challenges with a Stoic mindset can lead to personal growth and a deeper sense of fulfillment. When we face difficulties, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or even defeated. But the Stoics teach us that these moments are not setbacks, they are opportunities to build character and resilience. By shifting our perspective, we can transform obstacles into stepping stones for growth. One of the key ways to embrace challenges is by focusing on what we can control. The Stoics remind us that while we can't always change the circumstances we're in, we can control how we respond to them. For example, if you're dealing with a stressful situation at work, instead of dwelling on the frustration, you can focus on how you approach the problem. Maybe it's a chance to improve your problem-solving skills or practice patience under pressure. This shift in mindset turns the challenge into a valuable learning experience. Another important aspect of embracing challenges is cultivating gratitude for the lessons they bring. Even in the midst of difficulty, there's always something to be gained. Perhaps a tough situation teaches you to be more adaptable or helps you discover inner strength you didn't know you had. The Stoics believe that every challenge carries a hidden gift if we're willing to look for it. By practicing gratitude, we can find meaning even in the hardest moments. It's also worth noting that embracing challenges doesn't mean we have to face them alone. The Stoics valued community and support, recognizing that sharing our struggles can make them easier to bear. Whether it's seeking advice from a mentor or leaning on friends and family, connecting with others can provide strength and perspective. This collaborative approach not only helps us navigate challenges, but also deepens our relationships and sense of belonging. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to challenges is about seeing them as opportunities rather than obstacles. When we embrace difficulties with courage and curiosity, we open the door to personal development and lasting fulfillment. It's not about avoiding the struggle, but about finding purpose within it. As we move forward, we'll explore how this mindset can help us not only endure but thrive in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Now, let's turn our attention to a profound Stoic insight that challenges the way we think about wealth and happiness. The quote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor," reminds us that true poverty isn't about lacking material possessions, it's about the endless desire for more. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, which teaches that contentment comes from within, not from what we own or accumulate. Think about it for a moment. How often do we chase after things, whether it's a bigger house, a newer car, or the latest gadget, only to find that the satisfaction they bring is fleeting? The Stoics argue that this cycle of craving and acquiring doesn't lead to lasting happiness. Instead, it creates a sense of emptiness because no matter how much we have, there's always something else we want. This is what it means to be truly poor, to be trapped in a mindset of constant wanting. So, how do we break free from this cycle? The Stoics suggest that the key lies in shifting our focus from external possessions to internal fulfillment. This doesn't mean we have to give up all our belongings or live in austerity. Rather, it's about cultivating a sense of gratitude for what we already have and recognizing that our worth isn't defined by material wealth. For example, instead of envying someone else's success, we can appreciate our own achievements and the progress we've made. This shift in perspective helps us find contentment in the present moment, rather than always looking to the future for fulfillment. Another way to practice this Stoic principle is by reflecting on the impermanence of material things. The Stoics often reminded themselves that possessions are temporary and can be taken away at any moment. By acknowledging this, we can detach ourselves from the idea that our happiness depends on what we own. Instead, we can focus on cultivating qualities like wisdom, kindness, and resilience, things that no one can take from us. These inner riches, as the Stoics called them, are the true source of lasting happiness. It's also worth noting that this idea isn't just about personal contentment, it has broader implications for how we live our lives. When we stop chasing after more, we free up time and energy to focus on what truly matters: our relationships, our personal growth, and our contributions to the world. This shift can lead to a more meaningful and fulfilling life, one that isn't defined by the size of our bank account but by the depth of our character. As we reflect on this quote, let's ask ourselves, are we living in a way that aligns with this Stoic wisdom? Are we seeking happiness in the right places, or are we caught in the trap of endless desire? By embracing the idea that contentment comes from within, we can begin to live more intentionally and find true richness in our lives. Next, we'll explore practical ways to apply this principle and discover how it can transform our approach to happiness. Now, let's take a closer look at how we can actively practice contentment in our daily lives, drawing from the wisdom of Stoicism. One of the most effective ways to cultivate contentment is by shifting our focus away from material possessions and toward non-material sources of joy. These are the things that truly enrich our lives and bring lasting happiness, such as meaningful relationships, personal growth, and moments of connection with the world around us. Start by taking a moment each day to reflect on what you already have. This could be as simple as writing down 3 things you're grateful for, whether it's the support of a loved one, a beautiful sunset, or even the opportunity to learn something new. Gratitude is a powerful tool for fostering contentment because it helps us appreciate the abundance that already exists in our lives, rather than fixating on what we lack. Another way to practice contentment is by engaging in activities that bring you joy without relying on external rewards. For example, spend time in nature, immerse yourself in a creative hobby, or simply enjoy a quiet moment of reflection. These experiences remind us that happiness doesn't come from owning more. It comes from being fully present and appreciating the richness of life as it is. The Stoics also encourage us to find contentment in our own character and actions. Instead of measuring your worth by external achievements or possessions, focus on cultivating virtues like kindness, patience, and integrity. When you act in alignment with your values, you'll find a deep sense of fulfillment that no material object can provide. Finally, consider the practice of voluntary simplicity. This doesn't mean giving up everything you own, but rather making intentional choices about what you truly need and value. By decluttering your life both physically and mentally, you create space for what truly matters, allowing contentment to flourish. As we wrap up this section, let's remember that contentment isn't about having everything we want. It's about wanting what we already have. By focusing on non-material sources of joy and embracing the principles of Stoicism, we can break free from the cycle of endless desire and find true richness in our lives. Next, we'll revisit a foundational Stoic quote and explore how mastering our thoughts is the key to lasting happiness. Now, let's circle back to one of the most profound Stoic quotes we've explored. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This statement, simple yet deeply impactful, lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. It reminds us that our happiness isn't dictated by external circumstances, but by how we choose to interpret and respond to them. In other words, the lens through which we view the world shapes our experience of it. The Stoics believed that our thoughts are the starting point for everything: our emotions, our actions, and ultimately our sense of fulfillment. If we fill our minds with negativity, fear, or resentment, we'll naturally feel unhappy and unsettled. But if we cultivate thoughts of gratitude, resilience, and purpose, we create an inner environment that fosters joy and peace, regardless of what's happening around us. This idea isn't just philosophical, it's practical. Think about it. When you face a challenge, do you immediately see it as a disaster, or do you view it as an opportunity to grow? The way you frame the situation in your mind determines whether it becomes a source of stress or a stepping stone toward personal development. This is the power of thought quality. It transforms how we experience life itself. Stoicism teaches us that we have the ability to shape our thoughts, even if we can't control external events. By practicing mindfulness, we can become more aware of our mental patterns and consciously choose to focus on what uplifts and empowers us. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about approaching life with clarity and intention, recognizing that our thoughts are the foundation of our happiness. As we reflect on this quote, let's remember that mastering our thoughts is a lifelong journey. It requires patience, self-awareness, and consistent effort. But the rewards are immense. When we take charge of our inner world, we unlock the ability to find joy and meaning in even the simplest moments of life. And that, in essence, is the Stoic path to lasting happiness. Next, we'll dive deeper into how we can apply this wisdom to our daily lives, ensuring that our thoughts remain a source of strength and positivity. Now, as we bring our focus back to the power of thought quality, let's take a moment to reflect on what this truly means for our pursuit of happiness. Mastering our thoughts isn't about achieving perfection or eliminating every negative idea that crosses our minds. Instead, it's about cultivating awareness and intentionality in how we engage with our inner world. The Stoics remind us that our thoughts are the seeds from which our emotions and actions grow. By nurturing those seeds with care, we can shape a life rooted in peace and fulfillment. Think of your mind as a garden. Just as a gardener tends to their plants, removing weeds and providing nourishment, we must tend to our thoughts. This means letting go of harmful patterns like self-doubt, envy, or resentment, and replacing them with thoughts that uplift and inspire us. It's not always easy, but with practice, we can train our minds to focus on what truly matters, even in the face of life's challenges. One of the most powerful tools we have is the ability to pause and reflect. When we encounter a difficult situation, instead of reacting impulsively, we can take a step back and ask ourselves, how can I view this differently? What can I learn from this experience? By shifting our perspective, we transform obstacles into opportunities for growth. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, finding strength and clarity within ourselves, no matter what life throws our way. Ultimately, mastering our thoughts is about reclaiming our power. It's about recognizing that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can always choose how we respond. And in that choice lies the key to lasting happiness. When we align our thoughts with values like gratitude, resilience, and purpose, we create a foundation that supports us through every season of life. As we close this reflection, let's carry this truth with us. Happiness isn't something we find outside ourselves, it's something we cultivate within. By taking charge of our thoughts, we unlock the ability to live with joy, meaning, and inner peace. And that, perhaps, is the greatest gift Stoicism offers us. Next, we'll explore how to bring these principles into our daily lives, ensuring that our thoughts remain a source of strength and positivity. As we come to the end of our journey through these 25 Stoic quotes on happiness, it's clear that the wisdom of the Stoics is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. These teachings remind us that happiness isn't something we chase or stumble upon, it's something we create within ourselves. By focusing on the quality of our thoughts, practicing gratitude, and embracing the things we can control, we unlock a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Each quote we've explored offers a unique perspective, but they all point to the same truth. Happiness is a choice. It's about how we respond to life's challenges, how we nurture our inner world, and how we align our actions with our values. Whether it's through journaling, mindfulness, or simply pausing to reflect, these principles provide practical tools to help us live with intention and purpose. So, what's the next step? Start small. Choose one or two quotes that resonate with you and make them a part of your daily life. Maybe it's reminding yourself that happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts, or practicing gratitude for what you already have. Over time, these small shifts can lead to profound changes in how you experience the world. Remember, the journey to happiness isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every day is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to live a little more fully. So take these Stoic principles to heart and let them guide you toward a life of joy, resilience, and inner peace. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more timeless wisdom. Share your favorite Stoic quote in the comments below. We'd love to hear how these teachings have inspired you. Until next time, keep cultivating happiness from within, and remember, the power to live a fulfilling life is always in your hands.